Party people, how we doing? I'm a maniac. Number one, I got rid of the blonde hair. If you missed it, I'm sorry. It was terrible. Anyway, and also I've torn apart my studio again. So apologies. I'm on the iMac today. And quite frankly, I don't know that I don't like it more. The camera looks good, right? I don't know how I sound. I feel like I sound okay. I'm sure a $400 microphone sounds better. But anyway, the studio is torn apart. Got a new iMac. And man, we got a lot of people tuning in today. Hot topic. Let's see. Toronto's in the building. Karen, how are you? Orlando's here. Atlanta's here. You got my attention with Rob Ferre. I like that one. Stanton Palmer's here. You can't tag Rob Ferre. He's not part of the group. We got to make sure he's added. What's up, David? David Roman. Would be helpful if we could get into the stream. You're on the stream. Good morning, Mesa, Arizona. How are you? Tampa, Florida. Dale. Mark Tony's in the building. Mark Tony and I went to see 50 Cent and Busta Rhymes last night. Busta's voice, I think, is busted. But 50 killed it. Spent a ton of money on production. Mark Beecher is here from Indy. New Jersey's here. Kansas is here. Missouri's here. Calgary is here. Anyway, welcome everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Nice little crowd here for a Wednesday afternoon. And man, from all over the country, people on YouTube, Facebook, I appreciate everybody. We're all good. No worries, David. So today I'm bringing back somebody I hadn't had on in a while. This guy is super impressive to me. He's, I don't know, man, just, somebody I see a couple times a year in person at various DJ conferences, but then I just follow his trials and tribulations and travels through social media, which I guess if there is a shining light to social media, it is that. And, man, Rob Ferre is he's always been an amazing host whenever he's worked for us at our conference, DJ Collective. And then I've just seen him just literally all over the world this year. I mean, I think he was at Richard Branson's private island a few weeks ago. He's been to Dubai, I think, a few times. Like, just, man, we're going to listen to him today and let him talk a little bit to you guys about commanding the crowd or master of ceremonies techniques. Let's see if he's here. Rob, are you there? We've got this.
Welcome, citizens of the Vault community. My name is Rob Ferre. Welcome to the DJ's Vault.
Wow.
With your host, Joe Bunn, and myself as the guy that's going to be talking today. So that's how you command a crowd. Okay, there's your lesson. Thank you, everybody. And
thanks. Good night. There's my TED Talk. Thanks, everybody.
That's it.
What's up, Rob?
Yeah. It's good to see you. So I appreciate the introduction.
Yeah.
And I know you usually kind of like slip off. You come on, come off, kind of ask your questions, chime in, whatever.
Yeah.
You know the vibe of the audience. You can see the chat. I can't. So we're going to be doing some interactive elements where we're actually going to be able to see what you are thinking, what you're struggling with. That's the great thing about this. And so sometimes when we do this on Facebook or Zoom, we can see people saying their comments in the chat. But the great thing for this is the people that are going to watch it on the replay, if you're watching now, thank you. You're going to be able to see what people are going through, struggling. So how we're going to do this, let me go here. This right here is my other desktop. And what we're going to do here, this is what is called Mentimeter. Mentimeter, I'm going to put up a code right here. Boom. And we're going to go back. There it is. So all you have to do is scan that QR code with a device, probably your phone. If you're watching on your phone, I do apologize. You probably can't really do this whole entire thing. So once you go into there, it will give you a code or it will instantly send you to this interactive element where you're going to be able to give me your comments and feedback in real time. And guess what? It's anonymous. So your names aren't attached. And please be mindful of that as well. So go ahead and put that. And then once you're in, tap that heart. Do you see how the heart's starting to appear? That means we have at least one person who is ready to go here. So thank you for those who can scan the QR code and use technology.
I'm in.
Technology. Okay. And so what's going to happen here is I'm going to advance the slide. And in the slide, you're going to see a question or a prompt. It's going to be an open-ended question, and I believe you're allowed to answer more than once. And if you have any questions, let me know or let Joe know or whatever. So we got about 6 people here. We're at critical mass. 6 people. This is amazing.
Come on, there's 61 people watching.
There's 61 people watching.
You can either go to menti.com or just use the QR code.
Yeah, so if you go to menti.com, put in the code 73393065. For those of you who are watching the replay, go ahead and fast forward until you see the next slide. Here we go. So, and the QR code should be still in the corner here, or at least the code at the top. So what skills do you use for commanding a crowd? I'm very curious what you're already doing and what you see that is effective to you. Okay, so as you are answering this question, think about what you're already doing and what maybe skills you are hoping to utilize or need better use of. And so go ahead, start putting that in there. So for example, you, Mr. Bunn, what skills do you use to command an audience? My voice, great music, lighting, and effects. Oh, that's all part of the pauses, voices, influx, enunciations, stories, being personable and relaxed. I like that. I'm here for you. Chris Washburn, DJ's Vault Gazette. Thank you, Chris Washburn. Chris is a big fan of Chris. I am a big fan of Chris. I like to point out and use hand gestures. Hand gestures work really well. It works really well for staging as well. Welcome them, then silence until they're quiet. Woo. That takes a lot of balls. Exactly. The awkward silence. Lessons learned from Randy Bartlett and Bill Herman. Yes. One person put period. I like to use props, personable, and humor. I like to use friends and family to start the chat.
I would say mine would be like enunciate and volume without being, ridiculous about it.
Great. Yeah,
So if I'm playing like cocktail level music, I'm going to go and I start to talk and need to make an announcement or need to get attention. I'm going to go a level over that cocktail volume, if that makes sense.
And Joe, I like how you said that because have you ever been somewhere, maybe like a show, a concert, a conference, where the audience is at a 5 and then the MC comes in at a 10 and you're like, oh, I hate that guy.
I hate him already. Yes.
and that's the funny thing is sometimes we see that and we don't internalize what that person is doing and why we don't like that person. And then we say, I hate that guy. Don't be that guy. So we have a lot of cliches in the DJ world. This is a cliche in the speaking world. Let's say you're about to get on stage and you're starting off the conference for the day. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Like 5 people say good morning. I said good morning. That is one way to immediately alienate your audience. What's another way to alienate your audience? By insulting them. So when you command a crowd, don't insult them. What do I mean by insulting them? Well, I'm going to show you a couple of examples, but another example. Hey, everybody, we're going to welcome Joe and his new bride, Teresa. You just married Teresa. Okay. And, and everybody applauds and cheers. Oh, that wasn't good enough. You can do better than that. At that point, you are now telling your audience they suck. And now you are alienating them. So these are different techniques that we may have seen other people use, or we just don't think about it. Think about the word you're using, and when you command that audience, how are they reacting? So my challenge to you is the next time you go to an event, you go to a concert, you see how people are engaging their audiences. And all amateurs MCs don't do it very well. And they've seen somebody else do it badly, and they model that behavior. Don't be that person. Okay. So one more eye contact. Good. I do think eye contact is very important. I do have that problem sometimes where I don't want to look at my audience because I'm embarrassed or I feel like they don't care, right? But if you do make more eye contact, Brian, he's presented at Mobile Beat a couple of times. Brian, come on, Joe. He 2016. Remember, you were on the same stage as that guy. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do, but I can't remember.
Anyway, okay. He was really good at eye contact. I remember he would like look at the audience and like he was like staring into your soul, and you're like, this guy is speaking.
He's good, right?
But if you're constantly gazing over the audience and not making that eye contact, then it's not a good skill set. Because if you're just gazing and scanning, or if you're doing this, just walking around the stage, pacing, you will have more command of an audience if you stay put and you just start looking at individual people. I'm still forgetting his name. Anyway, we'll forget. Friends and family may have your attention. Okay, so I'm going to go into that really quickly. Friends and family may I have your attention. Guess what? To be the person that commands an audience, you don't have to be polite. You don't have to be polite. You are in charge of them. Friends, family, your attention. Sometimes people say your attention, please. You don't need to say please. You don't need to say may I. You just need to command them. Friends and family, your attention. We are going to introduce Joe and Teresa, right? Get out from behind your gear. That's really important. That shows confidence as well, stepping out into the middle of a dance floor, into the middle of a stage. Inflection on voice, hand gestures. When everybody's talking and not paying attention, for everyone listening, on the count of 3, everyone shh, say shh. 1, 2, 3. It works every time. That's a wonderful way. One way I do that when everybody's talking, it's very simple. Let me grab a prop here. Okay, yep. Say this is everybody's giving a toast. Sometimes I just do this. And then sometimes I even do a little bit of rhythm. Oh, that was wonderful, the first 3 tables. Let's see if we can get everybody involved. Bum, bum. Wonderful. Here we go. There are so many different and creative ways where you can command an audience instead of saying, please, everybody can have your attention, please. We're about to start our toast. If you could sit down, please, right? Sometimes I just start talking. Hey, congratulations, table number 1. You are already seated. You are ready to go. You get the prize for the day. You get to go to the bar first. What? He said something about the bar, right? Let's say you are emceeing an event. Hey, who wants to win a $100 bill? If you want to win a $100 bill, go ahead and stand up and shut up. Hey, and then you play a game, heads or tails. And you play heads or tails until everybody shuts up. Once people start seeing other people start to calm down and shut up, they will start paying attention. When the doors open for a wedding, they're outside in the cocktail hour, the doors open, people start moving because they know the doors are opening. We don't have to make that announcement. Hey, please, everybody, go through the doors. Like, you don't have to make those announcements. People are sometimes sheep. They will follow each other. They will do that. Okay, let's go back here. A couple more. Direct them. I like the phrase, pause your conversations. Might have picked it up from Joe. Okay, so that's a good one. I like that. Do you say that, Joe?
Yeah, I may have. I'm going to take credit for it. I probably stole it from you.
Well, pause your conversations is a great term, and I like it. And there are so many different ways to say shut up in a polite way, but you can command them. This is the term I use. Here we go. Write this down, Joe. I invite you now to delightfully disengage from your conversations and focus your attention on the dance floor. We're going to get ready for, and sometimes I just start talking. Pause your conversations, everybody. I think I might start using that. Pause your conversations, everybody. Everybody. Not ladies and gentlemen, not boys and girls, not friends and family. Everybody. Because some people might not be friends. Some people might not be family.
Yeah.
It's the case, right?
Sure.
People invite their enemies to events all the time.
Sure.
So, this is great. Okay. Love your feedback, everybody. Now let's go to our next slide.
By the way, just pause real quick. Record crowd on here. I don't know if it's Rob Ferre. I don't know if it's his jacket. I don't know if it's his hair, but we haven't seen numbers like this since pre-pandemic. So obviously people want to learn more about emceeing, and I've brought on the best of the best today. So thank y'all for being here, and thank you, Rob, for doing this. Keep going. I'm learning shitloads already.
What is a record crowd? Is that over 30?
Oh, we're in the 75 range. We're gonna hit. We might hit 100 before it's over.
All right, let's keep going, folks. I want to give you value. That's the most important thing. Hopefully, I'm validating already what you're doing, but I also want you to be aware of the things that you say on the microphone. Don't be a parrot. Be you. Let's keep going here. Okay, this is the next one. What do you need more confidence in when it comes to commanding a crowd? Is it your mic skills, how to hold a mic, where to direct a mic? Is it your emceeing? Is it what you need to say, or getting the audience to react? I already have an idea of where this might be going. Now, we are in the DJ's vault. The majority of us are DJs. We may have started in the clubs. You may have started in high schools. You may have started DJing in your own backyard. Whatever it was, you probably didn't come into this wanting to get on the microphone, which I understand. And some of us are here because we built a business doing this. I had the luxury of starting as somebody who was confident because I was constantly on a stage. And I'm going to give you some ideas for where you can get more stage time outside of your events. Getting an audience to react, what to say, mic skills, emceeing. And sometimes when it comes to emceeing, we just don't know what to say, or we don't have the phrases. And as this is slowly populating, I'll let you know a little bit about my history as an MC. I did theater throughout high school. I did improv in college. When I graduated from college, I moved to Orlando, Florida. I started working for Disney. And one of my first job was being on a microphone. And the confidence that I got on that microphone on the back of a tram at Walt Disney World was a script, was somebody telling me how to do it. And I think you can build more confidence by commanding a crowd by actually writing out a script. And that's fine. And guess what? Here's a resource, Chat GPT. Hey, Chat GPT, what's a different phrase for friends and family? What's a different phrase for can I have your attention, please? So you can type these prompts into it. For those of you who joined us late, we did have a QR code where we got some ideas. So this is slowly populating, and it looks like emceeing, mic skills, getting the audience to react are at the top right now. But once I left Orlando, Florida, I got into the DJ business. And when I was in Orlando, I worked at the Jungle Cruise, and then I worked as a game show host. And so I had plenty of opportunities to be on a mic in front of an audience. And I had plenty of people who directed me and mentored me. Then once I got into the DJ business, I started learning about the workshops. Mark Farrell, Randy Bartlett. Randy Bartlett doesn't do his workshops anymore. On occasion, he does pop up. Peter Mary, Bill Herman. And a lot of these people gave me some skill sets and things that I didn't think about or know about. And then, one of the best ones I took was actually Todd Mitchum. Todd Mitchum did a whole presentation, a whole workshop called Focus DJ. And he would use prompts like, on the count of 3, do this. 1, 2, 3, the audience does it. And he would say phrases like, focus your attention over there. And in that workshop, we actually created a whole list of phrases and words that we shouldn't be using on the mic. And so that's a tease that I'm going to give you later on. And we're supposed to wrap this up around at the top of the hour, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So thank you, everybody, for those ideas and what you're looking to work on. So some of you said what to say. We're going to start with that really quickly here. This right here is the methodology that I use from Exactly What to Say. It's from a book called Exactly What to Say by Phil Jones. I'm one of his certified guides. At the end of this presentation, I'm going to give you a QR code where you can buy that book or listen to it. I'm an Audible guy. It's one of the best books that you can listen to because it will give you some magic phrases and keywords to command an audience, not only from the stage, but in sales as well. And also in a leadership function. Not a lot of DJs think about this, but you are a leader. You're the one commanding this audience. People look to you for information. How often are people coming up to you and telling you, hey, so-and-so is lost, or I have some keys. Their car lights are on. Hey, where's the bathroom? You are in a role of leadership. You may have never thought about that, but you are commanding and leading a room. You are dictating the vibe. You know how to command the room with the music, but can you do it on the microphone? So Phil has this methodology. We always need to lead with curiosity because curiosity will eventually lead to certainty. What do I mean by curiosity? We need to be curious about our audience, the people we're about to command. What's their demographic? How old are they? Where are they from? How do they know the guests of honor? Empathy. Being empathetic leads to relatability. If you are empathetic with your audience and you can relate to your audience, they will be able to relate with you. So what's something that's empathetic that you could do? Find out where they're from. Oh, I'm from North Carolina. Wow, that's amazing. Cool. Where are you from? What do you do? How do you know the bride and groom? How do you know the guest of honor? What brings you here? Be curious. That leads to empathy, more relatability. If you are out there, maybe during cocktail hour, maybe during dinner, and you're going from table to table, you will gain more and more confidence. And this is something that I learned from Jim Cerrone, the perfect host. And then that leads to courage, and courage leads to action. Commanding an audience takes courage. Getting outside that booth. Okay, some of you are taking a photo of this right now, but here's the good news. I'm actually going to give you a slide with this exact methodology. And speaking of the good news, these are some of the phrases and words that I love to use. And I'm going to share those with you later on, but good news is one of those key phrases. So I'm going to tease this right now. Joe, how could you use the good news when you are commanding an audience? I'm leading you into this. Do you want me to give you an example first?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So, for example, what is the most dreaded part, the most dreaded announcement that DJs have to make at a wedding or maybe even a corporate event at the end of the night? The most dreaded one. We hate making it.
At the end of the night?
Yes. Last call.
Last call is the worst.
It is the worst because we're breaking up a party and somebody wants us to make this announcement because we have to close down the bar, or even the shuttle one. The shuttles. Oh, I hate the shuttles, right? Like, hey, everybody.
Especially if there's an early shuttle.
Right.
Like, yeah.
8 p.m. Like the 8 p.m. shuttles for all the old people, right?
Yeah.
So the good news. Here we go. Hey, everybody. The good news is we still have a half hour to go. And the bar is open for another 15 minutes. I'll see you on the dance floor.
Oh, wow.
We're not starting with the bad news. Sorry, guys. Bar's open for another 15 minutes. Last call. The good news is we're going another half hour. And we have 15 minutes left at the bar. So I'll see you on the dance floor. Did you hear that ding? Somebody just, somebody's lighting up your text messages. Right. This is fire. Okay. So do you want to do a good news? What's a good news? What would you do? Joe, this is a workshop. I'm working you in this workshop.
Yeah, I'm bad at this. Here's another one I hate. Okay. So let me try and figure out.
Yeah. Give us the premise. And then how would you?
Okay. The premise is, could be wedding, could be corporate event. Again, it's a VIP person tells me to do this, not like random guest number 11.
Yes.
Somebody's parked in the fire lane in front of the venue.
Oh,
Needs
dear.
to move the Toyota Tercel or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. The good news is I'm not telling you guys it's the end of the party. But I do have to make a quick announcement. There is a Toyota Tercel blocking the fire lane. We need to get that moved. Here's Uptown Funk.
Perfect. I love that because you're getting their attention with the good news. The good news is the party's not over.
Right.
And you didn't even say the bad news, which I liked.
Right.
Somebody's car's out there's party, and you can still come back in here because we got another half hour to go.
Right.
Have a conversation with them. Just let them know, right?
I love the conversational thing. I did learn that from Todd Mitchum as well. Like, instead of being so formal. Right.
Can I have your attention, please, everybody? There's a Toyota Tercel out in the parking lot with its lights on. Uptown Funk.
No good.
And other words, other key phrases. What happened next? This gives context. What happens next, ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, boys and girls, whatever you want to say? I like to use the term everyone. It's one of the easiest terms you can use, and I'm going to use some of my words as well. What happens next is, in just a couple of moments, through those doors, Joe and Teresa will be making their grand entrance. You will rise to your feet, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Or, in just a couple of moments, Joe and Teresa are coming through those doors. What happens next is you will rise to your feet, and you will give them a grand entrance they will never forget, right? And you can practice this line or just even use those key phrases, but don't be robotic. Make it sound authentic. How do you make things that are scripted sound authentic? Put it in your voice or start using these words every day. You can do that with your spouse. You can do that with your family. Hey, the good news is, you get to take out the trash and I'm going to give you $5 for it. I don't know. Whatever it is. Hey, the good news is I've done half the dishes. What happens next is you do the other half. I'm kidding. But you can use some of these terms in everyday life. Chris Washburn's probably watching this going like, oh yeah, I like this one. There are two types of people. Those who sit and watch as the grand entrance happens. But the other half, they get on their feet. They yell. They scream as Joe and Teresa come through those doors. Which one are you? I want to be that. You have three options. You could sit down and do nothing. Option number 2, you could stand and clap. Or option number 3, you get on your feet, you scream, you cheer, and you give them a welcome they will never forget. I keep using the grand entrance as a frame, but you can use these phrases whenever you want. You could also use this in sales. You have 3 options. You can go with our basic package, which is great, or our most popular package in the middle, or our last option, the coup de grace that includes la 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 la. Which one will it be? You give them 3 options. So you can use this in sales as well, which gives you more confidence, and you can command a crowd that way. Any questions, any comments that you're seeing so far? Just want to get a vibe from the audience.
Dude, the comments are so good. Everybody's so hype about the content already. People are saying, will this stuff work on my wife?
Yes, it will. But she can't be savvy to it. Once my wife started learning some of these keywords, my favorite one to do with my wife, your spouse, whoever it may be, your significant other, your roommate, your cat. Would it help if? Dot. Joe, would it help if I took out the trash, put the kids to bed, so that you can get your work done and we can smash? I don't know, whatever it may be.
Smash.
I don't know, whatever it may be. So I wish I could use this as a CEU for my teaching license.
Great content.
Yeah.
And people are giving their good news. Your fellow Utahn.
Hey, there's Richie. The good news is somebody has a Toyota to sell. A car that has been manufactured since '99 is still running. See, that's the brilliance. So here's the thing about Richie is he has an improv brain. We use improv all the time in our lives, but we don't use it on stage because we're so robotic and scripted. Good news is that your car is still there. I love that. Thank you, Bob. And it's good to see Bob out and about. I saw Bob at Midwest DJs Live. Good guy.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about commanding an audience. This is one of my favorite pictures. Your fellow podcast host on occasion. This is Mike Walter.
Yes.
He is commanding an audience by leaning into this moment. The people are watching him. He is endearing himself to the audience as well by being empathetic. And he has the courage to go out there and do whatever these girls are doing. I don't know what they're doing, but they're raising the roof of some sort of way. Joe Bunn does not like to get out there and do the cha-cha side of the Cupid Shuffle.
Not so much.
The good news is you're a great DJ. So you're going to command an audience in a different way. But this is just one example, right? But I'm talking about stage presence as well. When you get out there, how are you holding the mic? How do you look? How do you feel? Getting center stage also commands an audience. The way you're holding the mic is really important as well. Also, have a smile on your face. This was a picture taken by a friend of mine when I was DJing a small event for my National Speakers Association event, right? Everybody's right now judging my booth. This is from like 6 years ago. It doesn't matter. Who cares? But here's the deal. Is if I'm present in the moment and I'm smiling, I can still have that confidence in the way to command an audience. So when it comes to stage presence, no butt shots, no fig leafing. What is a fig leaf? It's putting your hands over your crotch like Adam would. No pacing, no slouching. These are ways to keep that confidence there. And sometimes when you command an audience, even just doing the hero pose before you go out, standing like this, putting your arms up in the air. If you cross your arms, put your hands in front of your crotch. That's not commanding. A person that will be in front of an audience and get them to react uses their full body, uses the gestures. If you're pacing, they're going to tune you out. Oh, this guy's pacing. But if you look, right over there is our cake. Gesture. Some people talked about that. Focusing on them, right? How do you hold the mic? A lot of people have different ways of holding the mic, but even just standing out in the middle of an audience, holding that mic up to your mouth is a directional cue to your mouth. I am about to say words. You are about to listen, right? How we wish everybody else knew how to hold the mic.
Right.
And, there's different ways to hold the mic, and some MCs do it some ways. And let's quickly have a diatribe about MCs. So Joe Bunn, what was this? About a month ago, you said anybody that uses EMCEE is not a friend of mine. I said, "Uh-oh, Joe, we can't be friends anymore." But what I like about that is it causes a discussion, and we're gonna get into this, Joe, really quickly. MC, MC stands for Master of Ceremonies.
Sure.
So I believe at weddings, we are mastering those ceremonies, either it be the cake cutting, the grand entrance, the first dance. These are ceremonies and events within an event. So when I am emceeing a corporate event, what ceremonies are happening? Not a lot. So EMCEE, that's what I equate to somebody that's doing a corporate event. Maybe a gala,
Okay.
maybe a function that is beyond weddings.
Okay.
I'm just opening up your mind.
I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
Right? Okay, he'll allow it. But that's the thing is, MC does stand for Master of Ceremonies, and you are the master, you are the commander. Good movie. Okay, let's keep going here. So I just love looking at these different types of ways that people hold a mic and then also gesture and smile, right? And this is Vicky Moosney from Midwest DJs Live from a couple years ago. I love it. Okay, now let's talk about being confident on the mic. One thing that I don't like when people do this is admitting when they screwed up. It is good to acknowledge the elephant in the room, but don't let them know that you screwed up if they don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, oh, I played the wrong song. Everybody knows, right? You do have to acknowledge that. I'm so sorry. But the good news is I have the real song. And sometimes I turn it into a joke. Hey, that's not our first dance. That is correct. I was just seeing if you actually knew what your first dance was. Right? I don't know. I do this all the time in conversation as well. My name's not Joe. Oh, that is correct. You know your first name. Okay. So this right here is from an artist that I'm not a huge fan of. And maybe you like him. He's produced some great hits, but he makes it about himself. You're probably already thinking, oh, I know who this artist is. He makes it about himself. And in this particular instance, he did not do his preparation. Listen.
He's one of the young bucks in Milwaukee, 6'5" guard with a 44-inch vert. Make some noise for Planet Pat. Pat. I can't say his last name right, but I'm going to try it. Connaughton.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
I can't say his last name because I didn't prepare. And you know, he saw him holding the mic like that.
Yeah.
Whatever. That's his style. And that's the other thing is, hey, Rob, I don't like holding the mic like this. This is more authentic to me. Please be authentic to yourself. You don't have to be a carbon copy of me, and you don't have to do it like we do everywhere else. But be authentic to yourself. Don't be a caricature of an MC or a DJ that you've seen. Don't be a caricature of this guy, right? Don't be a caricature of him. You know, he's done some amazing things. He's got some talent, whatever. But there are times where I just watch him and I cringe. That is one of those moments.
Yep.
Okay.
That's so easy.
Right.
You know he had those names before this. There's no way.
Right. And that's the other thing is he was just trying to, he's just like, whatever, I don't know, Pat Connaughton. Like, do you go up to your people before you introduce them? Okay, so Joe Bunn, Bunn, great. Is it 10 or is it tin? TINN or TEN? So, and so just make sure that you're all on the same page. I remember, have you ever had those moments where you said the name wrong or said the wrong name? And it's like emblazoned into your mind. Like one time I did this, it was a groom and his name was Reagan, but I called him Regan. And the mother of the groom comes up to me, just so you know, it was after the grand entrance. It's Reagan, like the president, right? So even doing mnemonic devices like that really, really helps. Okay. So let's go here. We did some of the keywords. Ooh, let's do this. This is where I get a lot of pushback. And this is the reason I get pushback on this is I'm challenging you to do something different. Okay. Joe, do you start every wedding with the same exact song? The dance floor opens. Are you playing Uptown Funk?
No.
Are you playing September?
Something.
Me too. I am. I love that word.
Sometimes.
But here's the thing is, are you like, but do you tweak it every time? You're
Sure.
like, ooh, this crowd's a whatever
I
crowd.
tweak it on, yes, a million factors go into play before I hit the first song.
That is perfect. Okay.
And it started when they walked in the room, like the whole psychology of it.
Oh, yes. It started when they walked into the room. Think about that as well. The first time you get on the mic, what's the first words they're going to hear out of your mouth? Are they going to hear this dreaded phrase? And I imagine some of you are already typing it in the chat. They already know. If you see my presentations, you know the most dreaded word, the word I hate the most. All right. Here we go. All right. My name is Rob Ferre, and we're going to have a great time tonight. All right. In just a couple of moments, we're going to sit down and get ready for the grand entrance. All right. Welcome to the DJ's Vault. All right. All right. All right. All right. You are not Matthew McConaughey. You are not an amateur MC. Go to your next event. Hear how many times the person on the microphone says, all right. What is the psychology behind all right? It is, we say it because we're trying to ramp up to something that they need to listen to, a phrase, a word that is worth listening to. So what is all right? We're just throwing this away. I'm just, all right, let's go. Can you change that? Ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, I'm going to give you some alternative lines as well to those two lines because we hear those so much. It sounds great, but we'll give you some other lines. But you can even just say, it's time for Joe and Teresa's wedding celebration. This is a Scott favor. I don't do this, but it works for Scott. Joe and Teresa are in love. Like, it's cheesy as all get out, but it's authentic to Scott favor. North Carolina, let me see you put those hands up in the air. I don't know how they do it out there, but let's see. Raleigh, let's go, right? Also, sometimes we gravitate towards asking questions. Asking questions from the mic sometimes does not elicit the right response, and it's really uncomfortable. Hey, everybody, who's ready for Joe and Teresa's wedding? Woo! Best thing I did was take Mark Farrell's class, and he gives you the welcome statement, which is, friends, family, ladies, gentlemen, whatever you want to say, everyone, welcome to Joe and Teresa's wedding celebration. Give them an applause line. Mike Walter likes to do the welcome to Joe and Teresa's wedding celebration. Give them a big round of applause. He likes to prompt them. That's not a bad thing, but inflection also helps. Sometimes you don't even have to have an applause line. Who's ready for Joe and Teresa's wedding celebration? Woo! It's Joe and Teresa's wedding celebration. If you are ready to go wild and crazy for these two lovebirds, let me hear you say, woo! Woo! Right? Just prompt them. Just even tell them what to say. If you love Joe and Teresa, say, we love you. We love you. Great. Prompting them is the same thing we do on the mic, sometimes behind the DJ booth. Too much prompting, we won't get into that. So let's go right here. Somebody, I talk about please. I don't like please. You don't need to say please. Please do this. You are in a leadership role. You don't need to tell them please. Just tell them. Take your seats. Please take your seats. Take your seats. How about this? I want you to. Why would people not want to do that? Because they react for their reasons, not yours. Did they come to see you? Maybe if you're Ryan Seacrest and it's American Idol, but they did not come to see you. They came to see the concert. They came to see the bar and bat mitzvah boy, bar and bat mitzvah person, child, teen, young person, young adult. Do you see how many ways I said that term? This is so many ways you can start rethinking and shifting the way you talk. Okay, let's go here. I want you to. So get rid of that. I need you to. Ugh. I'd like to ask. Oh, just ask. I'd like to ask everybody to take their seats. Who cares? Okay. At this time, when I first started out as a DJ back here in Utah, I apprenticed a complete music franchise here. And the owner at that time, he and his wife would MC and I'd go shadow them. They would say at this time every single time. What happens when you say at this time every single time? They start to tune you out. I mean, if you keep saying give it up for, make some noise for, right? It tunes people out. So switch up those phrases. No, at this time. It's time for. You could say at this time, but in a different way. What's another way to say at this time? It's time for. Okay, redundant phrases. Right then. Oh, yeah. I forgot to update this. These are for my friends in the UK. We don't say this here. But these were some of the phrases that I heard in the UK that were said over and over again. Without further ado, at this time. So, Joe, help me at this time. Let's hear those redundant phrases. Let's put those in the chat, and we'll put those up here in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, trying a bad English accent. Okay, so what are some redundant phrases that we hear all the time from people? I'd like to see those. Are people putting those up?
Yeah, it'll take a second because we're like a few seconds
about 10, 15 seconds ahead, right?
But it's definitely, ladies and gentlemen, it's probably my worst. I do sometimes do at this time. I'm usually pretty aware, you know what I mean? Especially if I get somebody to come with me and film me.
Yeah.
Then you become hyper aware. Like if you watch yourself back, make some noise. People are saying in the chat. What are some other ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, makes.
And a lot of these phrases are okay. They work.
Let's hear it for.
Let's hear
somebody
it.
Somebody said, folks. Mark Tony said, can I have your attention? Some people are just hyping up Rob Ferre. Are you ready? Somebody said, are you ready?
Are you ready?
Yeah.
You know, are you ready is not too bad, but
It is a question, though.
It is a question. So how do you turn are you ready into something else, into a command? Let's get ready. Inclusive words. Let's get ready. We are getting ready. Okay? That's one of the solutions, is using inclusive words instead of I phrases, we phrases. Taking it from me to we. We are going to scream and shout. I need you to. We are going to. And if you have to put the onus on somebody else, you can. Our couple, the venue, the bartender. Make them the bad person, not you. Put it on somebody else. But you can use the royal we. We are going to. Okay. I want to show you an example of a grand entrance that I did recently. This was 3 hours after I had touched down from Thailand.
Oh boy.
Yeah. It's a little bit of a flex, I know. But
sounds exhausting.
I was exhausted.
Yeah.
I had just traveled 17 hours back to the United States. And some of the techniques here are an amalgamation of everything that I've learned from people. And what I like about this is I'm going to show you an example of music, with the swell of music getting people to pay attention. You're also going to hear a welcome phrase. You're going to hear lines where I'm going to introduce people and get applause lines. Now, this music, this is something I got from Peter Mary. And I saw Peter Mary do this at Arms DJs, the last Arms DJ, and I loved it, and I've adopted it ever since. He doesn't have like the copyright on this song. So this is something you can use as well. It's Give Life Back to Music by Daft Punk. It's such a great track. I'll show you. Here we go. Remember, I'm doing this solo. Ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, citizens of the world, welcome to Jackie and BJ's wedding celebration. Pause for applause. My name is Rob. I am going to be your MC and DJ for tonight's event. I flew all the way from Thailand to be with you here tonight. I'm not from Thailand, but I'm so excited to be a part of this celebration. This right here is Mike, who's going to be assisting me as well. Everybody say hello, Mike. With that being said, we are going to be introducing your wedding party in just a couple of moments. But before we do that, let's give a warm welcome to. Okay, I'm watching that and I cringe. Like, there are so many things I watch that I'm like, okay, why did I say I just flew in from Thailand, but I'm not from Thailand? Like, who cares? Whatever. But there are times where I pause because I'm still thinking about what I'm about to say. It's better than just kind of blasting through it. Hey, I'm from Thailand. No, I'm not from Thailand. I'm actually from Utah. Da, 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 da. But sometimes I do those intentional pauses because I'm actually thinking. So somebody who's been doing this for years, I still mess up. You may have not have seen it, but you probably watched it and goes, oh, that was good. Rob, that could be improved upon. If you can go back and record yourself and even watch yourself, that's really important. That's really important to.
It's hard to do. It's hard to do.
Yes, it was hard for me to do now.
Yeah. Right. And you're really good. Yeah, it's hard. I don't think there is such thing as perfection. And maybe that's maybe that's what's right about it, or maybe that's what's real about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Remember,
maybe that's why I'm like, because I've always talked about you and like Sean Patrick, and how good y'all are at it, and how it reminds me of Seacrest. And whether you do or don't like him, there's no denying that he is a perfect host, right? Yeah. I mean, and that it doesn't. Yeah, I'm sure he has shit that he's supposed to say, and he has talking points. He obviously has to keep, especially on our live broadcast, keep it moving. But like, he's really good. But I think that's what makes him good, is he's able to be like conversational.
Yeah.
And it's not perfect.
No. But having a combination of a toolbox of words and phrases that you can go back to, right? And having those phrases when you need them, but also being relatable. We talk about authenticity all the time. Being somebody that's approachable, relatable. Are you the same person on stage as you are off stage? Somebody comes up to you, makes a request. Are you smiling? Are you nodding? Great. I love that. Have you seen that recent TikTok, that Instagram where the guy's like, hey, this DJs love it when you say this.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And he gave like 10 things.
Oh, that guy crushed it. I don't know who that DJ was, but everybody loves you. Okay, so this is a time for you to do a self-audit. Take some video, or even just record your audio and find your crutch phrases. These are mine. And I think I said it. Actually, I don't have it on here. With that being said, I say that a lot. Or once again, these are phrases that my wife has actually pointed out to me. Okay. And I say, okay, a lot. Okay, here we go. Okay. It's a segue word. So I've gotten rid of all right, but now I say, okay. Just pause, breathe, move on. Was, is, just, kinda. I click the tongue. I do it a lot. Right before I talk, I go. And sometimes I
do that sometimes.
I lick my I touch my nose when I'm thinking. So, touching your face, that's the one phrase I hear a lot of people say. It's more in interviews, but in conversations, people say, a lot because they want to fill the time, start listening for it and you'll start hearing, Okay. And I'm going to give you one more before we wrap up, because I have this slide in my resource guide for you. Yes, you get a resource guide when this is all over. Alternative phrasing for applause lines. Give it up for. It's a good one. I like it. Clap it up for. One more time. Easy. Give appreciation for. It's all pretty much the same, but just said in a different way. Show appreciation for. And the crowd goes wild. That's one of my favorites. And the crowd goes wild. And they clap and cheer. I've done that where I've narrated and gave them the promptings. And they rise to their feet. And they rise to their feet and they get up. And they're like, oh, we're supposed to get up. Because I'm addressing them. They, you. We all rise to our feet, and they rise to their feet. Oh, yeah, that's me. The DJ's vault. Just addressing the group. The DJ's vault. Put your hands together. Easy. Your host, Joe Bunn. Show them that you love them. Put your kitten paws together for. That's what I got from my friend Sean Bott. He's a comedian, mentalist. It's wonderful. And then this is one's in the air, and then you can barely see it underneath my name, Citizens of the World. Mike Walter came up to me. It was a great compliment at Midwest DJs Live, and he said, my biggest takeaway was Citizens of the World. I love that phrase. And I forgot where I got that from. It's not me, but I love to use it all the time. Citizens of the World. I take notes when I watch other MCs MC. I actually do that. So me paying attention to other MCs is your benefit. So I teased it earlier. You can get some of these key phrases, some of these resources right here. All you have to do is scan that QR code. And with this QR code is you're not opting in for my newsletter or anything like that. There's going to be a PDF. All you have to do is scan the QR code. And with that QR code, you'll be able to get access to some of these key phrases. And also, if you need to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram at Rob Ferre. And I'll be having some stuff coming out. My hope is in the next year or so, I'm going to start creating some videos with some emceeing tips. So hopefully that will be a resource for you as well. I'm actually going to recenter this really quickly just because it was over. Give me a second here. I'll recenter that. There we go.
It still took.
It still took? Okay.
Yeah.
Let me just do that one more time. There it is. There it is. I just kind of gave you, or go to talk.ac Rob Ferre. That is, this is a resource that I actually use. It's called Talkadot. It's going to ask you a couple of questions. You can skip those questions, or if you want to learn more or get some more resources in the future, it's just going to take you to a PDF that I uploaded. Also, it has a link to the Dapper DJ group. I love the Dapper DJ group because we share ideas on how to dress and how to be present. I'm actually going to create a new Facebook page called Public Speaking for DJs. Ooh. And so we're going to create this forum for you to level up your speaking skills, because we are constantly in front of audiences, either it be in sales situations, at weddings, at a bar and bat mitzvah, at a gala, at a corporate event. You are in front of audiences. You are a public speaker. Sometimes you may not realize that. So I'm gonna eventually create that group, and then I'll be announcing that in the Dapper DJ group and also in my kids and family events group. Those are the two groups that I moderate, and but the Dapper DJ group is good as well.
Dapper DJ is great.
And the reason I brought up the Dapper DJ group is a lot of people need more confidence in what they're wearing or sharing what they're like. I'm seeing this as a trend now.
Sure.
No tie.
Yeah.
V-neck shirt.
Yeah.
Jacket.
Yeah.
It works.
Sure.
It works. And so if you're not evolving your style, but you're evolving your music and your gear, you're kind of being left behind. You want to look relevant. You want to look like somebody that is commanding a room, somebody that people want to listen to, like a Joe Bunn. I remember seeing your threads one time at a conference. I'm like, where'd you get this? Like, oh yeah, I went to, I forget what it was. You went to some store and then you just bought like a boatload of stuff.
Bonobos.
Bonobos, that's what it was. And one of my favorite places to go is a Nordstrom Rack. If you have a Nordstrom Rack in your neighborhood, go there as well. There are so many great jackets, and
you have to set aside time for Nordstrom Rack, and you can't be prone to anxiety. If you're like hyper organized, you're going to shit in there.
Yes. Yes. That's good to know. And also like wear flip-flops, but bring like shoes if you need to kind of see where it falls. But like, if you're going to be trying on pants and stuff like that, like, give yourself a good hour.
Yeah.
But yes, it is. It can be chaotic, but if you want like good looking clothes at a reasonable price, that's where you go.
Facts.
Okay, it looks like my hour is up. Dude, so hopefully this was helpful.
Such great info. People are super hyped, still engaged. 80-some people on. World record, post-pandemic record is now set and bar raised by the one and only Rob Ferre. Yes, I needed that. Bob Powell just brought up Toastmasters, great group.
Oh, yes. Let me talk about that really quickly, Bob.
Go ahead, sure.
So let's say you want to get more confident and you don't want to do it on stage, I talked about it earlier. Toastmasters, for one, we actually have a virtual Toastmasters for DJs. So if you want to learn more about that, Bob Powell's a great resource. If you want to do it in your own local market, they're everywhere. Write this down, Toastmasters International. And just go to their website, put in your zip code. There's chapters everywhere. It helps you better as a public speaker, not as a keynote speaker, which I do, but public speaking. They help you get rid of your ums, ahs, and what is it, coulda, shouldas. Okay. Second is if there is improv in your city, look up. If they do any improv training is going to help you be more quick-witted on your feet. And then the last one, what was the last one? I forget. The last one is keep coming to the DJ's Vault and learning everything here. So yes, thanks, Bob, for talking about Toastmasters. And so Toastmasters, improv, they're everywhere. And yeah.
So many good resources. Thank you guys so much for being on today, Rob. Thank you again, man. We'll definitely do this again, maybe sometime at the end of the year, catch back up, circle back, see how things went for you to close out the year. Yeah. I think we're going to recruit him into making some videos for the Vault as well that will be for members only. So if you're not a member, as always, just go to thedjsvault.com. And I promise you it's worth every bit of the $30. Or in the email that I sent out today to many of you to get you on here, there's a link and it's probably good for another 24 hours or so, free 7-day trial. So check that out as well.
Ooh, thank you guys. 7-day trial. Yes, everybody. If you're not part of the Vault, be a part of it, but don't take my word for it.
I expect no less from this guy. Thank you guys so much. I hope everybody had a great time. Have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week. And if you're playing out this weekend, rock those parties. Thank y'all again, and have a great rest of the day. Thanks, Rob.
Bye.